या अली मदद। आज का हमारा जो टॉपिक है कि ज़िंदगी के जो 3 हिस्से हैं या हमारी ज़िंदगी जो हम जीते हैं वो 3 लेवल पर हमारी ज़िंदगी चलती है। आप समझ गए, फिजिकल लेवल, स्पिरिचुअल लेवल एंड इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल। हर लेवल पर सफाई का जो ताल्लुक है और सफाई के लिए जिस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है वो क्या है? वो पानी है। मीनिंग वी नीड वाटर टू डू द क्लीनिंग। डजंट मैटर व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्लीनिंग वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट। फिजिकल लाइफ के अंदर हम देखें कि जब हमें हाथ धोने होते हैं तो हम पानी का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। हमें कपड़े धोने होते हैं, हम पानी का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। हमें नहाना होता है, पानी का इस्तेमाल। घर की सफाई, गाड़ी की सफाई, जो भी सफाई है इन द फिजिकल लाइफ, हमारे रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी के अंदर हम जहाँ पर भी हम सफाई की बात करते हैं वहाँ पर एक चीज़ सामने आती है और एक चीज़ का इस्तेमाल और ज़रूरत होती है, वो पानी होता है। यानी कि पानी के बगैर, इफ़ यू टेक द वाटर आउट, कोई सफाई का बंदोबस्त नहीं है। यू कैन नॉट क्लीन योर सेल्फ विदाउट द वाटर। यू कैन नॉट क्लीन एनीथिंग विदाउट द वाटर। आप बोलेंगे मैं डस्ट कर लूँगा, या डस्ट करने के बाद हमको वॉश भी करना होता है उसको। हाउ यू गोना वॉश दैट? तो हमने देखा कि हर चीज़ में, यानी कि कोई भी चीज़ की जो सफाई है उसका ताल्लुक पानी से है। अगर ये बात दुरुस्त है और हम समझ गए कि फिजिकल लाइफ में हर चीज़ के लिए पानी की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, तो अब हम आज जो सीखने जा रहे हैं या समझने जा रहे हैं वो ये है कि अगर हम 3 जिंदगियां एक साथ जी रहे हैं, 3 किस्म की, तो हमारी स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ जो है उसके अंदर सफाई कैसा होती है? हाउ डू वी क्लीन आवर इनर सेल्फ, our heart, our mind, our thoughts, even our own language. And you will be surprised, even our hearing needs to be cleaned. कहते हैं कि हजरत मरियम, बीबी मरियम, she kept herself pure and purified. So much कि एक दिन God came himself and blew his own nur into her. What kind of cleanliness was she keeping? वो क्या सफाई रखती थी? क्या वो घर साफ रखती थी? Was she keeping her heart clean? Was she keeping her mind clean? Was she keeping clean? And how did she keep it clean? So it says, she kept her ears clean. हमारे जो कान है ना, ये हमारे अंदर का दरवाज़ा है। If you don't close this door, the flies and all the dirt will come inside your home, inside you. So first of all, the thing that we need to close and clean, 2 चीज़ें, ओके? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, हमारे कान यानी कि हमारे ये दरवाज़ा जो हमारे अंदर का दरवाज़ा है उसको बंद करना होता है ताकि मच्छर, मक्खी, फ्लाइज, मस्कीटोज एंड डस्ट हमारे अंदर नहीं आ जावे। What do I mean by that? Only listen and only take the pure knowledge of Imam. Reading others' book is only okay after you understand your own religion. So now you have something to compare with. When people just openly read anything and everything and not understanding their own religion, it brings doubts, whispering, and that comes from right here. So what it says, "Oh Lord, keep me away from the whisper of Satan." वो कहाँ से आती है whisper? यहाँ से आती है. How does whisper come or how does it work? Because we did not keep our house clean. So if you don't keep your house clean, what is the first thing that will come in your home? Flies, mosquitoes, dust. All those things will come if your house is not clean. But if there is nothing here for mosquito or there is nothing here for flies, flies has no reason to come into your home. You will look for some other home, जो dirty होगा. So same thing goes for whispers. कहते हैं कि शैतान जो है ना, people think Satan is very powerful. No, Satan is very insignificant. वो बेचारा इतना गरीब है, इतना insignificant है, is like a fly. You can just kill him like this. That's how insignificant Satan is. How and when? When your house is clean and only one fly comes in, you kill the fly. लेकिन अगर आपका house dirty है, meaning your inner thoughts is dirty, or you did not clean it, then bunch of flies will come and it will be hard to clean. Just like that, so many whispers will come, it will be hard to get rid of those thoughts because you have kept yourself dirty or did not clean yourself, let's put it that way. So the water in the knowledge or water used in the spirituality is what? First of all, how do you clean your inner self, your heart? How do you clean it? The first thing is the Giryazari. The tears that comes out of our eyes. Sultan Muhammad Shah's one farman that I remember, Sultan Muhammad Shah says, even if your mother dies or your children die, do not cry. अगर हम रो ही नहीं सकते हैं, if we are not supposed to cry for those things, when do we use our tears? What is the purpose of these tears? I cannot even cry for my parents or my children. The only cry, Imam says, in the ishq and the remembrance of your Imam. So tears has a purpose. और वो purpose क्या है? कि जब Imam की याद आए, so here we need to stop and ask ourselves, how many times have I cried remembering Imam? I can say for myself, never. कभी वो लोग इतना याद ही नहीं किया कि रो. If I had really remembered him, or if I felt that Imam is far away from me, or my mom, Imam, or my father, Imam, I've lost him, I cannot find him, I don't see him, he's far away from me. How come I'm not near to him? If I have all these thoughts, what would happen? I will have tears in my eyes. Just like a child without the mother. What would child do when there's no mom? He will cry. He will cry when he's hungry, when he's cold, when he's scared. This child needs mother. Aren't we not the children when it comes to spirituality? And if we are, then how come we are not crying for our Imam or for his didar? for His presence, for His closeness. How come we are not crying? The tears are the water that we need initially to clean our heart. हम जमात खाने में रोजाना क्या बोलते तस्बीह के वक्त खड़े रहकर तस्बीह निकालो गिरिया और जारी की. When did we do Giriya and Zari? Did we become Giriyan? Did we become as a tearful? Were we tearful when we stood up and said Giriya? We were not Giriyan. Giriyan means being tearful. हमारे आंखों में तो कोई आंसू ही नहीं थे. Come to another example. When you go in front of Mukhi Sahib, especially for chanta, how many times do we say, oh, I'm really sinful? And just thought of that, I'm so sinful, your tears will flow out of your eyes. So when we say, I'm sinful, do we really believe it? Or are we just saying it because everybody else says it? Because my mom says, when you go do chanta, make sure you tell the person on the other side of the pot that you are sinful. So I'm saying it. I don't believe it. Because I've truly believed that I was sinful, I would have tears in my eyes. And those are the tears that will clean my inner self. So we need water or the tears to clean our inner senses. अब दुनिया की एक मिसाल लेते हैं. Just take an example of the world. Something happens घर के अंदर, something at work, something, and you feel really sad. You come home and you cry in your bed. What happens after that? वो जो बोझ होता है ना खत्म हो जाता है. Just because you cried, that burden is lessened now. It just goes away. You cried it away. हम बोलते हैं कि we just cried it away. That's it. Then you forget about that and you go on your life. Tears does help. मज़हब के अंदर, in religion, tears really works miracles for our inner senses. Now, these tears cannot be the tears of the worldly lost. ये आंसू किसके लिए होने चाहिए? इश्क के होने चाहिए. इश्क के साथ और ये सोच के साथ, with the thought कि I'm really sinful. How come I'm so far away from Imam? एक शेर याद आता है, मुझ में क्यों आशिकाना गिरिया नहीं, ये खता है, इस खता पर रोना है. The poet writes, how come I don't have a tears? What's wrong with me? And that is my fault. And I should cry on that. It's just beautiful. So the tears or the Giriyazari should be the part and parcel of our daily life. It has to be. क्योंकि अगर हमारी गिरियाजारी नहीं है तो it'll be just like कि हम अपना घर कभी साफ नहीं करते हैं. We never clean our home. How dirty will be your home? Because you have no tears, no giriyazari, it'll be like keeping our inner spiritual life or inner house dirty. Now I'm going to give a last example of spirituality, then we will move on to the other cleaning. If your friend calls, your in-laws calls, somebody from your family is coming over, what is the first thing you do? You clean your home. मेहमान आ रहे घर में. Do we believe that when we go to Jamaat Khana, we call on Imam, he will come into our heart? We believe that, right? When are we going to clean their home so Imam can come? Do you want Imam to come in your dirty self? No. We will not call our mehman in our home. जब भी हमारा घर गंदा होता है, हम क्या करते हैं? साफ करते हैं अपने घर को. अगर you want to invite Imam in your heart, you have to clean your heart first. And the Giryazari and tears is just only the first action, not all the action. This is just the first action. And then what do you have to do? Second thing will be clean your thoughts. Thoughts के अंदर दो चीजें आती है. There are two parts. When I say clean your thoughts, you need two parts. One, the very important one, to clean yourself from the ill concepts. आप बोलेंगे हमारे अंदर तो कोई इल कॉन्सेप्ट है ही नहीं. हम तो समझते हैं कि जिस तरह से मैंने समझा है, the way I have understood my religion is correct. And I'm saying no. You need to rethink that. And if there is a ill concept, we need to clean that out first. Because अगर आपके अंदर ill concept आ गया है, तो क्या है? You have a sickness in your thoughts already. You don't even know. It's like a cancer. You only find out at the end. And now it's too late. Now it's too late. No. First, in your thought, you have to clean your ill concept. अपने जो मज़हबी तस्वुरात है ना, the way we think of our religion, we need to clean that first. What is the example of that? Why do I think that people have an ill concept? Or why do I think that I have an ill concept? What am I basing this on? Just think of it. How many of us believe that Imam is Ali Allah? Or Imam is just an Imam? Or Imam is just like you and me, a regular human being, maybe a little bit smarter. If we don't have the right concept, right belief, then we are already sick. And this sickness will go deeper and deeper and deeper, and one day will become cancer. And then there will be no cure for it. So, correct concept is so important and so necessary to have. Otherwise, हम हमेशा गलत concept के साथ, with the ill concept, will be following the religion. Think about it कि हम जमात खाने में बैठे हुए हैं, और अचानक से हमारे दिल में एक ख्याल आता है. We just from nowhere, Satan whisper करता है हमारे कान में, why do you want to bow down to a human? ये तो शिर्क है. ये ख्याल, why would we have that thought? Somewhere in the corner of our heart, ये sickness है हमारे अंदर concept की कि कहीं हम गलती तो नहीं कर रहे हैं. Are we not making a mistake? Or maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe just a little bit misunderstanding. And that ill concept will grow. The whisper will grow. If you read Surah Phil, you'll be so surprised at what that surah is talking about. Physically, it's talking about the army of elephant attacking the Khana Kaaba. In the surface, the surah looks like the army of elephant is attacking Khana Kaaba. But no, the surah is talking about something else. So what is it the surah is talking about? The whisper of shaitan, when he attacks your Khana Kaaba, the small whisper becomes an elephant. And there is an elephant is attacking your Khana Kaaba. The place of God within you is called heart. Attacking your heart. अगर आपके दिल के अंदर एक बड़ा elephant आके बैठ जावे, if a huge elephant comes and sits on your heart, there is no room for anything else. So what do you have to do? Kill that elephant. How do you kill that elephant? Go back to Surah again. How did they kill the elephant? The bird comes. And what does bird do? They throw the pebbles on those elephants. Your Isme Azam, your zikr, your tasbiyat are those birds. And with those birds and with that zikr, you have to kill that elephant. ताकि तुम्हारा heart खुल जावे. Your heart will open, your heart will be clean. So may Imam comes into your heart. So, ill concept. Second, हमने कहा कि दो थॉट हैं, बेकार के थॉट्स. अभी यहाँ पर रिलीजियस मैटर की बात नहीं हो रही है. Religious matter की बात नहीं हो रही है. We are not talking about religious matter anymore. We are not talking about ill concepts. We are talking about बेकार की बातें. What would be the right correct word? Useless thought. इधर उधर की बातें.
Gossip, yeah.
Gossip. अगर हमारा mind सारा दिन, all day long we are just thinking about that person did this, that person did this. Why did he do that to me? Why did she do that? मेरे बच्चे ने किया, मेरी माँ ने किया, मेरी बीवी ने किया. All day हमारे दिमाग में यही घूम रहा है. Where would we give a chance to Imam's thought? And that the perfect way of getting rid of that is to have thoughts of Imam. If you have a constant thought of Imam, then it would be hard to have any other thought. इसका मतलब, I'm not saying that we should not work, because you need your brain to do your work too. I'm not saying that you should not do your work. But, our brain is so powerful, we multitask. While we are working, we are having those thoughts. While we are driving, we are having those thoughts. Replace those thoughts with remembrance of Imam. That will clean your thoughts. So we talked about our heart and our thoughts. How do we get those dirt inside our heart and our thoughts? We did talk about the door, which is our ears. But there's another door into our heart. And what is that? Our eyes. Our eyes are also our door to our heart and the door to our thoughts. So बोलते हैं कि keep your eyes clean. What do you put, Visine in your eyes? No. Only see the good thing. There's a saying, see no evil, hear no evil. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever heard of this term? See no evil, hear no evil. That's exactly what it's talking about. Keep your doors to your heart and mind closed, or be careful. What you see becomes your thought. But how can we close our eyes and drive and work and live our life? No. You see things, but you only see what is good in people, not what is bad in people. You only see what is good out there. And I'm going to give you another example. Let's say you're driving, okay? Early morning, you're remembering Mulapa and all that, dua pada, now you're going to work, driving. All of a sudden somebody cuts you off. What is the first thing comes to your mind? Something bad. Or, if you are mindful of your thoughts, what would happen? You will say, maybe he is in more hurry, maybe he's late for his work, maybe there's an emergency, maybe his child is late for the school. It's okay if he cut me off. I'm not in a hurry. You don't have to cuss at him. You don't have to think bad of him. Matter of fact, as soon you think that he may have an emergency, what are you going to do? You're going to start praying for him. Look at the different way of thinking. First reaction was bad, not good. If you choose the number one option, the rest of your way to work will not be good. You're going to constantly think about that guy, and you're going to be constantly cussing and thinking bad, ill thoughts. But if you give room to this thought, option number two, you're going to be keep praying for him. So what happens when you pray for others? It returns back to you. When you pray for others, it returns back to you. And we go through this on daily basis. We are human beings, and we are on the road. Even at work, something happens. We think our co-worker is cutting us off, or our co-worker is doing this and that. But you can always have a positive thought. Just your positive thoughts, picking option number 2, always will help you stay in the remembrance of the Imam, remembrance of God, constant. Because now not only you were remembering Molapa every 5 seconds, but now you have to remember him and pray for the others too. So those were the 2 things, how to clear your mind. Now, let's come to the 3rd level, intellectual level. We also need water to clean that too. So what is the water when it comes to intellect? Knowledge. Again, as we don't wash our floor or our car with a dirty cloth, we cannot clean our intellect with a bad or ill knowledge. What do we need? Clean water. We need a clean piece of cloth to clean our intellect. Let's talk about piece of cloth first. What is a clean piece of cloth? When I say we need a clean piece of cloth, what are we talking about? Taqwa. The purest cloth for a human is his taqwa. Taqwa, purity. Alright? Without the taqwa, or without the purity, without that clean cloth, as you cannot clean your house with a dirty cloth, you cannot clean your intellect with the bad manners, bad thoughts, with the bad knowledge. So what is a bad knowledge? There is a good knowledge and there is a bad knowledge. So what is the bad knowledge? The knowledge that takes you away from the remembrance of Imam, take you away from the didar of Imam. On top of all that, take the pleasure of the Imam out of you. If something takes the pleasure of the Imam out of you, तो हम उर्दू में कहेंगे कि इसकी वो तकवा वाला नहीं है, वो पाकीज़ा नहीं है. Your thoughts and your actions are not pure. So clean cloth is the cloth of taqwa, or the cloth of the purity. You need that clean cloth. And then on top of that, you need knowledge. What knowledge? Like a clean water. If you don't have a pure knowledge, underline what is pure knowledge, okay? There is a knowledge. What did Imam say? There is information, a lot of information. Within the information, there is a little bit of knowledge. And then he goes further. Within that knowledge is very, very small amount of wisdom. So when we are talking about pure knowledge, we are talking about the pure wisdom, or the essence of that knowledge. And true knowledge only and only comes from the true fountainhead, which is Aql Kul, the universal intellect, equal to Imam. It comes from Imam. How does Imam will give us that true knowledge? Is he going to come over here to Dallas and sit with us at 6 o'clock in the morning and give us that true knowledge? He's already giving us that knowledge. Throughout the Faramin, throughout the instruction that he gives us. And then what else does he do? He sends his Arifins or his Abidin, his teachers, to the people to teach their knowledge. So Imam is like a king. He just said to be, and people do it. He will not come and sit with you and give you that. On the higher level, he gives you Faramin. he gives the instruction. On the lower level, he have his people work for him, and whatever name you want to give them, Arifin, Hududdin, teachers, whatever name you want to give them. But we have to be careful. We have to be so careful that we don't have dirty clothes and dirty water. We want to make sure we have a clean clothes and clean water to clean our thoughts, our intellect. In the Aga Khan University, Imam says, it is the intellect that separates human from human animals. So how do we use that intellect that will separate us from human animals? How? With his guidance, with his pure knowledge, reading, listening, and understanding of true knowledge is the key to clean your intellect. And it is upon us to find that knowledge. I want to give you one other example, and that is example of Quran. Quran is really hard to read. Language-wise, if you read English, you can read Quran. It's translated. Or if you know Arabic, you can read Quran. Or if you know Urdu, you can read the translation. So I'm not talking about the language. Otherwise, reading Quran is very hard. If you don't have the true knowledge or true Arif Kamil who will help you read the Quran, you may read the Quran and then not understand, and that would be more dangerous than not reading the Quran. Same thing goes for our Quran. Same thing goes for the Faramin. Faramin are in English. It's easy, you can read it, anybody can read it. But not understanding those Faramin and then follow it incorrectly will be dangerous. So we're going to take one example of Farman, okay? So Mullah talks about, okay, you must give education to your children. So what do? We send all our children to make sure they all have a PhD, master's, bachelor degree. Is the Mullah only talking about these degrees, or is he talking about to make sure your children have education in our tariqah too? Somebody can argue, Mullah never talked about it, or sometimes he talks about religious education, but he doesn't emphasize it. He is always emphasizing on the worldly level. Yeah, somebody can argue about that. Then my argument would be, so let's say you are PhD, and you think that you have followed Imam's Farman to the teeth. That's how you understood, that's how you followed it. Okay? And this was the Farman, and this was the only Farman, that you should give your children knowledge so they can be educated, they can have a good job, good life, money, whatever. Right? And he was never talking about, or did not emphasize that much about the religious education. Okay. If that was the truth, so what you are saying, that Imam only cares about something what is temporary. And what is temporary? The education that you have is only good for maybe 40, 50 years. That's temporary. When it comes to life, this life is only like a 1 day, maybe 2 day or 3 day or 4 day. In 100 years life, our true life, ye zindagi, this life is so short. So are you saying the Imam is telling us, take care of this 1 day or 2 days, don't worry about the 96 days, 98 days, 99 days. Imam will not give us something which is temporary. He wanted to give us something which is permanent. So how do we have a permanent knowledge? The only permanent knowledge that you have is the knowledge of your soul and mind. Because your soul and your intellect is permanent. Your physical body is your temporary body. And I have a story that I always tell when it comes to this thing. So if you are from back home, we have slums. So Molapa always try to bring Ismailis out of those slums and put them in housing societies. So I always give this example. So at one time, he takes 2 families out of the slums, but the housing society is not ready yet to be moved in. So he puts them in a temporary shelters, and he gives them, both of them, allowance, let's say $1,000 each family. So what you live over here, this is your temporary home. I'm going to give you $1,000 allowance. When your housing society is ready, you will move over there in a month. So one family says, since we're going to be living here for at least a month, and it's pretty hot, let's put a fan. But it's 100 temperature, fan is not going to cut it. Let's put an air conditioner. And I'm tired of sitting on the floor, let's buy a sofa, and a dining table, and a mattress. Before you know, a month is over. But the other family, on the other hand, is saying, why do we need air conditioner and sofa and dining table? We're only going to be here for a month. So let's do this. Let's get a mattress. In daytime we can sit on it, and nighttime we can sleep on it. We can use it for both. So we'll be comfortable, but not that comfortable that we forget that we have to move next month. So what happens when the housing society is ready? And people comes and say, come on, chalo, let's go. One family has the $1,000 or close to that money left in their hand. So when they move to the housing society, they can buy their fan, their sofa, their mattress, and dining table, and everything. The other family goes there with what? Empty-handed. They have nothing left because they didn't save anything. So if we are those people, that we use all our earnings in this world, and we have nothing to show for when we go to the other side, into a permanent housing society, which is afterlife. That is a permanent. This is temporary. So are we the people who's living here temporary and thinking this is our life and this is the entire life we have? Remember, I'm not saying that you should not have good houses and good cars and good education. I'm not saying that. But don't think this is permanent. Work for something that is permanent. Make sure you have saving that you have sent ahead. Make sure you have money left, your good deeds earning left to send ahead. Have education, have your ibadat, have your girazari, and have a bunch of that. So when you move over there, you have a lot of saving to take with you. And don't go there empty-handed. So we're going to finish this one with Farman, and then if there's any question, of course, we can clarify some of the things that I was not able to clarify. Chandra Farman, that we hear every single month, and I'm going to just take one part of that. I don't want none of my spiritual children to die sinfully. And what does Imam say? Say Salvat. Say Salvat. So he may give you power. What power is he talking about? Power of the life. So we can be good over there, not the power of this life. Because he already said it, I don't want any of my spiritual children to die sinfully. Power of that saving, power of that girazari, power of that ibadah, power of that knowledge. And what would be better knowledge to know where we're going afterward? When we leave over here, where are we going? That knowledge. So we're going to stop right here, and then inshallah we will continue with some other lecture. Thank you, Ya Ali Madad. And of course, ask whatever is not clarified. I can clarify whatever was not clear in this lecture.